Okay, officially welcome to today's virtual information session through the Graduate Studies Office here at Columbia College Chicago. Today's information session is all about two of our graduate programs, which are cousin programs to each other, the Arts, Entertainment, and Media Management program and the Entrepreneurship for Creatives graduate programs. I am one of your presenters today. My name is David Martz. I am the Assistant Director of Graduate Admissions. If you're interested in any of these programs, you've likely been emailing with me or have gotten some contact information from me, and I'll be on hand to answer all of your admissions questions. And joining me today to co-present with me is Ryan. Ryan, would you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hello, I'm Ryan Smith. I am an associate professor of instruction in the School of Business and Entrepreneurship. I am also the co-director of our graduate programs. I also teach in both of the graduate programs that we're talking about today. I have been here at Columbia for, gosh, I think about 15 years now. And I've been teaching in the graduate program for about half that time. So looking forward to chatting through the programs with everybody here today.
And while not featured in this slide, I know also in the room is Justin. Justin, would you introduce yourself?
Sure thing. Hey, everybody. My name's Justin Sinkovich. I'm an associate professor in the School of Business and Entrepreneurship. I'm also the associate director of the school, so I kind of help oversee everything, including the graduate programs. I teach in both programs. In the Entrepreneurship Masters, I teach the first and last class. And in the Masters of Arts Management program, I often teach the New Media Strategies required course, and then also an elective, which is a digital marketing agency practicum that travels to South by Southwest in Austin, Texas every spring.
So that's all the three of us. We hope among the three of us, we should be able to answer your questions today. And before we really launch into the programs specifically, I wanted to take a step back and talk a little bit more about the city where we're located and the school of which we're a part of. So starting with Chicago, some of you may be in the Chicago area, but some of you might not be as familiar with Chicago, but we are the third largest city in the country. Obviously, in the state of Illinois, we have nearly 3 million residents. It's an affordable cultural hub with a welcoming artist community. And Chicago really is home to many creative industries and visual arts, dance, film and television, theater and music, with plenty of theaters, galleries, festivals, dance companies, music venues, film and television productions, and arts organizations. There really is no shortage of art to see and artistic opportunities to explore in Chicago. And while you're at Columbia, we really will help you build your professional network, initiate your strategy for creating and nurturing professional relationships, audiences, and supporters. And for a program like the Arts Management or the Entrepreneurship for Creatives, I mean, it's really important to be a part of a city that has such a robust opportunity for arts, media, and entertainment industries. And our students really do take full advantage of everything that the city and the surrounding areas has to offer. And then about our school as a whole, Columbia College Chicago, we're an arts and media school. We're again located in downtown Chicago's Cultural Mile, more specifically in the South Loop. I'll talk a little bit about that on the next slide. Our mission is to educate students who will communicate creatively and author the cultures of their times. That's taken directly from our mission statement and really is reflective of the types of programming and the types of offerings that we have at Columbia. Over 50% now of our student population identifies as a person of color. We are committed to being an anti-racist institution, and we strongly feel that the more diverse a classroom is, it only leads to greater innovation and creativity. And there are about 5,500 approximately students who attend Columbia. The overwhelming majority of those are undergraduates. Our graduate population is much smaller. We have anywhere between 175 or so graduate students across all of our grad programs in any given year. So that's a little bit about Columbia. And then just to contextualize again where we're at in the city, this is an overhead view of our campus map, or an illustrated version of it, obviously. But we're a condensed urban campus. Again, we're located in the South Loop neighborhood of downtown Chicago. All of these reddish orange circles and these blue circles represent the 20 plus administrative, residential, and academic buildings of Columbia. And so you can see our campus is about 2 blocks east and west, and about a mile and a half north and south. And that occupies the totality of our campus. We're conveniently located to major public transportation. These purple dots indicates CTA stops, which is the Chicago Transit Authority, the train lines that run all around the city. And then these purple dots represent 2 metro stops, which are metro trains that go out to the outer burbs. So again, a variety of different public transportation options to get to and from campus. We also are close to Lake Michigan, 2 blocks away, and also very close to several cultural, historic, and entertainment destinations. Grant Park is literally across the street from us. Grant Park is home to world-famous Buckingham Fountain, but also plenty of events like the start and stop of the marathon, the plenty of arts and music festivals, and then Lollapalooza that happens literally across the street from our campus each year. And then we're also close to the museum campus. Field Museum, Shedd Aquarium, the Planetarium, and Soldier Field are all located close to campus. So again, just a quick contextualization of where we're at in the city. For the next couple slides, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan to talk about our 2 programs. So Ryan, take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you, David. So we're going to talk about both. We're going to start off here with the Arts, Entertainment, and Media Management program. This is, of course, the MAM program. It's a Master of Arts Management, so it's an MAM degree. It is actually our longest running graduate program in the School of Business and Entrepreneurship. It's been around for I think about 40 years now. It is a more traditional graduate program. So, think about a typical sort of 2-year program, 48 credit hours over fall and spring, and then another fall and spring. This primarily face-to-face courses with certainly some online courses thrown in here and there, but primarily a more traditional graduate program. And full or part-time options are available for folks. And the program itself is a mix of both the for-profit and non-for-profit side. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into some of the program highlights here on the next slide.
Speaking of which, that's some highlights. We're gonna go into a little bit more detail about each of these, but what are some highlights of the program?
Absolutely, yeah. So it is a business program at its core, and I say that because there's a core business curriculum. So think about courses in marketing. Justin mentioned new media strategies as well. There are financial courses in here. I teach the accounting for decision making course. There's an economics course. There's a financial management course. There's law. There's strategic planning. There's leadership. All of those make up the core of the Arts, Entertainment, and Media Management program. So you're learning all of those business skills, but everything that we do is focused on the creative industries. So, whereas you maybe, if you were studying elsewhere, maybe you're looking at, large corporations and big for-profit companies. Here we are focused on theater and music businesses and art galleries and that sort of thing. So everything we do is through the context and through the lens of the creative industries. Real world projects. We're talking about, you build out a marketing plan maybe for a theater company in your marketing course. You'll complete a financial analysis in my course, maybe on a music streaming platform. So these are projects that are focused on actual companies that exist, and many of which are local to Chicago. But on top of that, there are hands-on real-world courses that we have called practicum courses, and we'll get into that a little bit later as well. But where you'll actually start to put to use many of the things that you're learning in your courses. And this is also an opportunity where you'll end up leading some student teams as well. And then travel opportunities, we're going to talk about that a little bit later as well. As Justin mentioned, we go to South by Southwest every spring. There are other travel opportunities as well here that we'll talk about. And then, opportunities to network are plentiful here. We have an amazing group of alums who have gone through this program. I think close to 1,000 alumni at this point. all over the United States and all over the world, many of which will come back and serve as guest speakers in courses. We have networking events, industry nights, so plenty of opportunities for you to connect to not just the program alums, but also folks, professionals in the city, and making those connections to the arts organizations and the creative businesses here in Chicago.
There we go. Come on. Next page. There we go.
Yeah, so here you can see some of the potential sort of groupings of courses. These are, we don't necessarily have concentrations, but this allows you to kind of see paths that you could take. A lot of your courses in this program, about half actually, are elective courses. So you have choices to take different pathways if you choose. So if you're a music business person, there are a variety of different music business focused courses. You can see visual arts, performing arts, and media as well. And these are those practicum courses that I referenced, many of them anyway, not all of them. But these are those practicum courses where, you're going to get hands-on real world experience, maybe managing an art gallery or a record label, or running a fashion show or a marketing agency or music publishing. And our graduate students really take the lead in these courses. They end up leading these courses are often graduate and undergraduate mixed. So our graduate students end up taking on leadership roles and helping to manage and direct and help to run different aspects of these courses. And many of those practicums in the spring, as mentioned before, we'll go to South by Southwest. I know we have a study away slide later, so we can talk about those then. But just to give you a general idea, it allows you really to explore as well, right? So you have an opportunity here to, maybe you are a music business person, but at the same time you're interested in some marketing, or you're interested in live events and theater. You have an opportunity to really build this out any way that you want, and gain a lot of experience in different industries. Here's some of our amazing faculty. These are folks who have spent a long time working in the creative industries, in doing the things that hopefully you want to do to some extent. You can see some of them here. Khalid, for example, spent a long time working in digital marketing, and is now here with us full time, occasionally teaching the new media strategies course, among others. Beth Ryan has spent a long time working in human resources. She's also a consultant for a number of businesses. She builds out strategic plans for a lot of companies. Dawn Larson, who is a co-director of graduate programs with me here in the School of Business and Entrepreneurship, is a lawyer. She has worked and continues to work as an entertainment lawyer as well. So, you're learning from people who are out there doing it, many of which, the majority of which are going to be full-time faculty. But also we have some great part-time faculty as well. Those are folks who are actively working in the industries that you're interested in, and then coming back and teaching a class or two for us every year. So an amazing group of folks that you would have the opportunity to work with. And then, yeah, I mean, I was just looking at a list of all of our alums and a lot of the things that they've been working on, and this will give you a general idea of where folks have landed. But we have folks all over the United States and all over the world in a variety of different roles, both on the for-profit side and the non-for-profit side. We have people working in fundraising and development for, dance organizations and theater companies and symphonies. We have people that are running, record labels. We have folks who are working in museums, in radio and television. So you can really see the sort of wide range of industries that folks end up in. And these are folks that also like to give back. So they are great to network with. We try to connect you as much as possible to these folks, so you have an opportunity to make some connections and hopefully get some mentorship from folks who have gone through this program and are now out there and doing some amazing work. Speaking of folks who are doing amazing work, these are some of our alums from over the years. You can see some of the things that they're doing. We've got Alyssa. She is down in Louisiana. She is the executive director of the Meadows Museum of Art down there. Justin Camps graduated, I think, in 09 or 10, somewhere around there. He's been out for a while, but worked in music supervision in Los Angeles for a while, ended up taking some of the skills that he learned in the program and launched his own music supervision company. So he picks music for some of the TV shows that you may love, and then you can see some of the other folks. Chrissy's down in St. Louis, running education and outreach for a theater company down there. Tyler's doing some great things. She's been at Disney for a while. And then Crispin launched a non-for-profit. So, these are just a few examples of folks who are out there and doing great things, and many of whom have come back and helped our alums do what they want to do as well, and make some connections there.
So I believe that, oh, no, there's travel opportunities.
There it is. Good. All right. I thought we were going to come back to it. There it is. So yeah, as mentioned before, in spring, a lot of those practical courses go down to South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. So, hopefully, I assume most of us are familiar with South by Southwest, but it is a big arts and media conference that has been around for a long time. Justin could speak to South by Southwest more if you have questions on that. But a lot of those practicums go down there, both in terms of the music side, the media side, film side, digital marketing, and all of that. We've got some other more study abroad options available as well. During our J session, which is the semester in January, we do a marketing in Europe course where they go to Paris. There's a cultural heritage, this international exhibition management course in Rome. We also go to Edinburgh, Scotland every summer for the Fringe Festival. And then there's also a global marketing course that goes to Prague in the summer. So if study away or some international options are something you're interested in, you will have plenty of opportunities to do that during your time in the Arts, Entertainment, Media Management program.
And that was the MAM program. Let's talk a little bit more about the entrepreneurship program now.
Absolutely. So Entrepreneurship for Creatives, this is a newer program for the School of Business and Entrepreneurship. I think it's been around for about 4 or 5 years now. This is an MA. This is a Master of Arts. This is also full or part-time options. This one is a hybrid program. So unlike the Arts, Entertainment, Media Management program that's a bit more traditional, this one is hybrid. So some of your time is spent online, some of your time is spent in person. And it's a 1-year program. So it's a 30 credit hour program, historically running in the fall, spring, and then in the summer. So a bit of an accelerated program for somebody looking for some experience in entrepreneurship. And in terms of highlights, right? So this is really a program for somebody who has a business idea, or maybe a couple business ideas, and you're looking to really flesh that business idea out over the course of your time in the program. So. And there's some slides later on where we'll look at what some folks have worked on while they're in this program. But really, what you're doing here is you're learning entrepreneurial skills, you're learning marketing, you're learning finance, you're learning economics, and you're learning legal, and you're applying all of that to your company. So where this one is really, really interesting is the hands-on coursework. So where you may be learning about financial statements, you're also going to be fleshing out financial statements for your own company during your time there. You may be working and learning about marketing, but you're also going to be working on building out a marketing plan for your company. So everything that we do in this particular program is really focused on you and the business that you want to launch. So you also will, and Justin can speak to this at some point as well, is you work on that pitch, right? So one of the final courses, the final course, I should say, in the program is your opportunity to take everything that you've learned and pitch that to a panel of entrepreneurs and talk all about your business as you would if you were pitching, say, folks for funding or something like that. So you'll have an opportunity to do that as well. And yeah, the same idea, right? You're going to have the opportunity to work with and meet entrepreneurs, both in terms of Chicago-based entrepreneurs and also some of the alum of this particular program, many of which will come back and chat with folks about what they've worked on and how they've launched their companies. Some examples of different courses. Justin actually teaches the new ventures in the creative marketplace course. I teach the financial forecasting and planning course, and then we have the strategic leadership for entrepreneurs course. So there's this entrepreneurship sort of core that runs through the program. You've got the new ventures in the creative marketplace course, which is one of the first courses that you'll take there, and you can see the description. I won't bore you and read it to you. And then in the spring, there's the next sort of entrepreneurship course, which is our launching, sustaining, and scaling course. And then that third entrepreneurship course takes place over the summer, which is the pitching course. And then I can certainly speak to the financial forecasting course as well, since that is one that I teach. You're going to learn some basic accounting. You're going to learn some basic finance. You're going to understand the financial statements. You're going to understand how the day-to-day economic events of your business flow into those financial statements and impact the finances of your company. You're going to be able to analyze your financial statements. You're going to be able to forecast or project where you believe your company is headed in the future. Generally speaking, we like to build out 5-year projections as much as possible, especially if you are, say, applying for a loan for your company or something like that. So we cover all of those types of things in the financial forecasting and planning course. And then here's some examples of things that folks have worked on during their time in this program. And you can get some ideas here, right? There are folks that are all over the place, right? So we have folks who are coming in and they're focusing on launching a non-for-profit, or maybe they want to focus on launching a recording studio or a record label. We've had a lot of folks that are coming in and are interested in fashion, and they want to launch some sort of a fashion brand. There's a graduate from a couple years ago. I know his company is up and running. And it's a men's focused sustainable fashion brand. Sustainability is also a big part of what many of these folks who go through this particular program are interested in. And we talk all about that as well. You can see some technology as well with AI. And then there are folks who kind of go into consulting. They'll sort of pivot a little bit, and maybe they want to focus on building out their own consulting agency, or maybe they want to be a fashion designer or something like that. We've had folks launch all different types of companies in all different industries. And these are, again, just a few examples of what folks have worked on during their time in the program. Oh, there's some faculty again. I don't know how I made it on both of the slides here. I don't know.
Well, that's a perk of being the presenter.
I guess so. Yeah, I like it. All right. Yeah, keep it going. You can see some of the faculty here for the Entrepreneurship for Creatives program. I'll just again call on a couple here. Monique May, who teaches the legal course, was a lawyer by trade, but also works in talent management. Has her own talent management company, so has launched a talent management company. Warren Frank, who manages and runs the venture funding course, was a CFO for a number of companies, some of which he launched, some of which were companies that he worked for. So he knows and can speak to all aspects of the funding that's available for companies, whether it is small business loans or crowdfunding or traditional fundraising and a non-for-profit, venture capital, and a lot more. So again, you can see we have a variety of folks here that just do absolutely amazing things and are there to help support you and help you get through this hopefully launch your company, but certainly flesh out that business plan for your company. And here are some of our most recent Entrepreneurship for Creatives alums. These are the folks who actually just finished up the program over the summer. And you can see what they're focused on here. CR, for example, I know is in the process of getting a wellness studio launched. She had a pretty interesting idea that she worked on throughout her time in the program. Shamika, I know, has been working on her fashion brand for quite a while. She actually had sort of launched a company prior to the program, and then wanted to kind of come back and really kind of flesh that out and have a solid plan in place. And you can see some of the folks here, some of the things that they've done as well. And again, the beauty of the program is you can come in with an idea, you can come in with a couple of ideas, and we're here to help you really hone in on what is your business, what is your value proposition, and how do we go about building this out and hopefully getting to a place where this is something that you can launch and hopefully do as a career.
So that was both programs in a nutshell. I want to talk a little bit more about campus and facilities, and to a certain extent, all of campus is at your disposal, but you are also primarily in a couple different buildings. Can you talk about the main buildings that houses your program?
Oh yeah, sure. So we are primarily in the 618 South Michigan Avenue building. Columbia is unique in that, if other colleges may actually have names for their buildings and things like that, we tend to go with the actual addresses for them. So 618 South Michigan is where we're located. The majority of our classrooms are probably going to be on the 9th floor or the 5th floor of that building, perhaps the 2nd floor. And then our administrative offices are on the 7th floor of that building. And graduate students are certainly always welcome to come in there. There's spaces there on the 7th floor to work if you like. There's also plenty of spaces on both the 2nd and 5th floor of that building where you can work. And then 623 South Wabash, there's some classes that could be over there as well. There's a music venue, or not just music, but certainly a venue there called House. There's a gallery there, the Hoken Gallery. And then and not on here, but we also, depending on the course, you may be over in the Student Center. We have a course.
Yeah, I'm actually talking about that on the next slide.
Oh, okay, good. All right, good. Because we have a couple courses that utilize that space as well.
Speaking of which, perfect setup for the Student Center. The Student Center is our newest Columbia building. As the name suggests, it is a center for all of our students. Given that we're an urban campus, there wasn't a ton of communal spaces in years past, and this building really addressed that need. And it is a multi-million-dollar, multi-square footage space that allows for students from all disciplines to meet, gather, collaborate, and in some cases, as Ryan said, even go to class. So some of the things that you can find at the Student Center is a food court, coffee shops. There's plenty of study and meeting spaces. There's a DIY crafting maker space on the 2nd floor. There's the fitness centers there. The Career Center, their offices are located in the Student Center. Again, plenty of practice and meeting spaces. And the 5th floor is a giant exhibition and event space. All of this is centrally located right in the middle of campus, and it's a great facility for all of our students, regardless of your program. I have a couple more slides to get to before we can start taking questions, one of which is funding. Funding is obviously a very important part of the decision-making process about whether or not you can attend grad school. When we're talking about funding at Columbia, we're talking about 4 different avenues. Scholarships, working on campus, working off campus, and then federal loans. When it comes to scholarships, Columbia does have a variety of scholarships, both for incoming and continuing students. The incoming student scholarships are the ones that are most applicable to you as a brand new student applying to the program. Those are called graduate awards. Those are based on the overall merit of your application as deemed by the faculty review committee. If you're selected for a graduate award, again, it'll be based on your application materials. And if you get one, it will cover a portion of your tuition. There is no scholarship that pays for 100% of your tuition, but these grad award scholarships can cover on the low end 25% of your tuition, and maybe on the high end 65% of your tuition, depending on the scholarship. And then there are a variety of continuing student scholarships. Some of them are set aside just for business and entrepreneurship students. Some of them are open to all graduate students, for example. And those range in value from, a couple $100s to attend a conference up to several $1,000s to work on a project or to help just defray the cost of attendance. Those scholarships you could apply to at a later date, maybe after your first semester. All of our scholarships can be found at colum.edu/scholarships. When it comes to working on campus, all graduate students, whether you're international or domestic, can work a maximum of 20 hours a week on campus. An assistantship is a job working for the business and entrepreneurship school. You might be a teacher assistant, you might be a research assistant, you might be a special event and marketing assistant. We can talk a little bit more about that, about some of the specifics of what you might do with that job. Those assistantships opportunities, those are assigned at the time of admission. So similar to an incoming student scholarship, you will be automatically considered for an assistantship by just applying to the program on or before the priority deadline, which I'll talk more about in 1 second. All other campus jobs, and there are a variety of campus jobs all over campus, will require a separate application, and it's something that you could only apply to after you've been admitted and you've enrolled in classes. The next two are just for domestic students. International students are not able to work legally off campus, and nor do they qualify for federal loans. But U.S. citizens and permanent residents can work off campus in the city or in the Chicagoland area. Many students in this program do work. We can talk more about sort of what that schedule would look like during Q&A. But our student employment portal, which lists all of our on-campus jobs, will occasionally list relevant off-campus jobs. And then your academic department or the Career Center will also know of other potential internships or related professional opportunities as well. And then federal loans. Many of you know how federal loans work. You fill out your FAFSA, and then if you are admitted, the U.S. government will, or in conjunction with our financial aid office, will provide an award letter informing you of your loan eligibility. So that's a little bit overview of funding. Let's talk about the application requirements. For the MAM, the Arts, Entertainment, and Media Management MAM program, the application requirements are the two main pieces of it are the self-assessment essay, which is the most important part of your application. We have a blurb here about it, and then we have an optional portfolio if you wanted to submit for the MAM. Ryan, would you like to say anything about any tips or things that you have, or something you want someone to walk away with for the application materials for the MAM programs?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think with the self-assessment essay, as David mentioned, I think is the most important part, right? So we're trying to get an understanding of who you are. What have you done? What do you want to do? What's the ultimate goal? And what do you think you're going to be able to bring to the program as well? So we're looking to really get a good understanding of exactly who you are and what you want to do. In terms of the portfolio, many of our students who are coming into this program, into both programs really, are creatives, right? These are folks who have worked in the arts, or they're artists in some way. So this is an opportunity for you to show off some of the things that you've done from the creative side, but it's also an opportunity to show off things that you've done maybe from a business side as well. So you can see some of the different examples of things you might include in a portfolio as well. Again, as David mentioned, it's optional, but we always like to see what folks have worked on in the past. And if you have those materials, we would definitely encourage you to share those.
And then not listed on here are transcripts from every university you've attended. And then if you're an international applicant, there may be additional steps, more specifically a transcript evaluation or a proof of English proficiency, both of which I can take questions of. And then similarly, the application requirements for the entrepreneurship for creatives MA program is similar. The main important part of this is the self-assessment essay or the personal statement. Again, we list some prompts for that. All of the same things I'm imagining Ryan said for the MAM program are applicable for the MA. The portfolio is optional. It's really meant to supplement and show who you are as a creative if you have some. So we encourage you to submit if you have, but if it is optional, so if you don't have something, again, it's not required. And then again, international students may have, or applicants may have additional steps to their application. Let's talk about a timeline. Excuse me. So if I haven't made this clear, our program really only begins in the fall. We only admit for the fall each year. Right now, the applications are open for fall. Some of the things that you should be focusing on pre an application is attending information sessions like you are today and doing research about your program and starting to collect and think about your application materials. Once the applications are open, which they are, you have the opportunity to submit your application. We recommend submitting your application as early as possible for the most comprehensive scholarship, assistantship, and financial aid consideration. By no means do you feel like you have to run out and hit submit tomorrow, but I also wouldn't wait until the absolute last day to submit it as well. Which, let's talk about deadlines. We have a priority deadline. What a priority deadline means is while we will review applications after a priority deadline, and you could potentially still be admitted into the program after a priority deadline, you are at the mercy of, one, spots left in the program, and two, any scholarship or financial aid that's left over in order to be most considered for a spot in the program and the fullest array of assistantships, scholarships, or anything along that line. You need to apply on or before the priority deadline. And for the MAM, Arts, Entertainment, and Media Management program, that priority deadline is February 14th. And for the Entrepreneurship MA program, that is March 7th. So still plenty of time at this early stage. I'm recording this, so depending on when you're watching it, you want to be able to aim for the priority deadline. And then 3 to 4 weeks after the priority deadline, that's usually when decisions are released. And then regardless of when you're admitted, we tend to give people around May 1st to May 15th to tell us your decision. And then additional next steps, you can begin or continue your application by going to apply.colum.edu/apply. I'll put that link in the chat, and then take advantage of any further admissions events we have coming up. Most of them are virtual. We're kind of winding down for fall, although there are still a few events in the future, application tips. I'll probably have just a general Q&A with me if you have any questions. So take advantage of them, and then we'll ramp up once we come back for spring semester with a few more events. I encourage you to come to them. If you're in the Chicagoland area or know that you're going to be visiting on a certain date, send me an email. I'd be happy to arrange a visit, potentially connect you with either Ryan or Justin, maybe get a chance to show you some facilities. Just let me know with a little advanced planning we can arrange for a visit. And I think that's it. We've come to the end of the presentation. I want to thank you all for sticking around for this portion. I'm going to stop the recording now, and we can start taking questions.